Hi there, I'm Brooklyn Calloway, and today I'm going to teach you about Instagram storytelling. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen and hop over to our PowerPoint. All right, so Instagram storytelling to give your business a boost. I think that this is a spot in everyone's business that or not everyone, but a lot of people overlook stories, and there's some key reasons why, which I understand. But hopefully by the end of this class you will no longer overlook stories. You'll understand the importance of it, and you'll also understand what you should be posting in your stories, how often, how you should be doing it, formatting it, all of that, in order to give your business a serious boost. So, mastering Instagram storytelling can be the game changer for your business. Literally telling stories in your telling stories about your day, basically in your stories. That's what we're talking about. So, here are some things that are unique to stories, specifically in the platform, that that you can't do with the other neighborhoods of Instagram or anything else. First of all, I want you to know the background that stories were basically a copy and paste that Instagram did when they stole this formatting from Snapchat. So, stories are something that people who did Snapchat, the younger folks, were very, very used to, just like Instagram stole Reels from TikTok. So they want everything in their platform, all the functionality that everybody loves about the other platforms, they wanted inside theirs. Hashtags came from Twitter. So anyways, with that being said, here are some things that are unique to stories within Instagram. Uh, it's a camera first communication model, which means it really is set up for and fashioned so that people use their camera to communicate in stories. It's the thing that you see on the screen. It wants you to use your camera. It even defaults to the camera. So, Instagram, whatever you see or is readily available, or the first thing your instinct wants to click, even if you don't like camera or face to camera, it is the first thing you see. So that thing is front and center for Instagram, and they want it to be front and center for you. Face to camera is the way that stories were fashioned from the very beginning. They want you to go face to camera talking to the phone screen. Engagement stickers, very, very high on the list of priorities for Instagram. Engagement stickers can be anything from personalization of the story itself to things that ask questions, polls, get you to click, touch the screen, give your opinion. Everybody loves to give their opinion. And when you give them the chance to do that, a lot of times they will. That engagement translates into the engagement as a whole for your Instagram account. So it really helps you. You can put links in your stories. Everybody, kind of knows the if you don't have 10,000 followers, you can't put a link in your feed. Well, that's true, but you can put links in your stories. There is a sticker called the link sticker. You can add your link to it. It's clickable. You can even change and customize the text to say, click here for more information, or click here for tickets, or get your tickets now. Whatever you want it to say, if you click that link, it will go to where you want it to go. So stories are a key place to put links, and we'll actually talk about here in a second on the next page how those links can really boost your business. So real-time shared experiences. Stories are supposed to be throughout your day. People say, or the experts, whatever, all the YouTubes, blog posts, podcasts that I've listened to about this, 7 to 9 is about the average stories per day you're supposed to do on your Instagram account for business. it's seen by your stories are seen by your most engaged followers. So Instagram prioritizes engagement in their metrics for which stories you see first. So the stories that get the most, the people who engage most with you through direct messaging is the key. And direct messaging is how they react to a story. So when someone reacts to a story and types in their answer or says yes or no, whatever, that goes to your direct messages. That counts as engagement. Direct messages tell Instagram that that user is most engaged with your account. The people that direct message you and interact with your account most, especially through direct messaging, that's who they show your story to first. So that your story will show up first across the top of the screen, farther to the left if they engage with you more. Stories disappear. Nothing else on your feed disappears. Only stories will disappear after 24 hours. Here is the key to that whole link thing. Stories can be saved to highlights. Highlights are categories. If you have a category of, let's say, popular products, and you have a story about different products in use or something like that, or maybe a customer testimony, and you have a link to that product in that story, save it to your highlight and it lives forever. So now people that go to your Instagram see that highlighted products and want to see what kind of products you sell, they can get directly to it and buy it from your highlights forever. So that link lives forever, especially if you categorize it right, and then it's easy to be found. This is my own personal unique to stories that no one else said, but is important. Stories are hidden until the person clicks it. Okay. So stories are hidden behind the circle. The user that clicks that has no idea what they are about to see. So that hidden aspect is like Pandora's box. Okay. I feel like that makes it more clickable. And when you tell a good story in the way that it needs to be told, they're going to click that link more because they know that whatever's behind that circle is going to be something they want to see. All right. Stories give you real-time shared experiences, shared connection with your audience, and a shared sense of community. Successful Instagram stories or strategies, successful Instagram story strategies, say that a lot, and I bet you can't, involve your followers. So you want to involve them with those engagement stickers, but you involve them by letting them learn from you, about you, or with you. Okay. So I listened to a podcast, and this was key, numero uno, that I took from that podcast. Your stories should fall under one of these categories. That the person watching it should be learning from you how to do something, or about something, about you, or they should be learning with you. Like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing here, but let's try this, that kind of thing. So those are your categories of what to post. So we'll talk about that more later in the slides. Anyways, remember how I talked about prioritize? What Instagram prioritizes is what you should pay attention to. Well, Instagram stories, once you get into the interface, the camera is the first thing that you see. So obviously Instagram wants you to post a video, but in the platform itself. So if you look at our next chapter social account here, the very first thing that your follower sees is that story at the top left. Okay, this is in my account, but if I was looking at the account, like just, scrolling or whatever, there would be bubbles across the top. Either way, stories is the first thing that Instagram prioritizes. So it's the first thing you see. Priority status over everything. Now, the previous class, if you haven't watched that, we're going to pull some of that information into here for a couple of slides here. So bear with me, but it does it is worth repeating. Bio makeover for visibility. What you put in your bio is how Instagram categorizes you to the people that are looking for the things that you do. Okay. Your Instagram bio serves as a virtual business card. I've also said this in face-to-face classes multiple times lately, and I think in these e-courses. People share your Instagram account as your it's the new website. Okay. When I'm suggesting someone, I'm like, here's her Instagram account. Oh, I'll share her Instagram with you, or his, whatever. So your Instagram is like your website, and your profile is like your business card, a little bit beefed up business card. And enhancing its visibility is crucial for attracting and retaining the right followers. What I mean by retaining is really keeping that up to date with who you are, what you do, who you do it for, and how people can work with you. And those things change over time. So every quarter, just make sure that you're aligning that with who you are right then, what you're doing, who you're working with, and how they can work with you. Strategies to consider also in your bio: clarity and conciseness. Clarity, clear over cute. That's what we like to say, clear over cute. Keyword optimization. That is important. You'll see this on the next slide. I want you to imagine what your ideal client is literally sitting down, sitting down, and what is that person searching for when you want them to find you. So for instance, I just have an oil on. I don't sell oils. I use this as an example a lot. Here's some lotion. How about we use lotion? Anyways, okay. So let's say this is cherry almond. This is a very specific scent that is hard to find in things. So if I sold this, I would make sure that cherry almond was part of the keywords, right? Because it's very specific and it's organic. Organic skincare cherry almond. I would search for that. So you want to make sure that you know what your people are searching for, or dry hands, calloused hands, safe for the skin, non-toxic, whatever you want to put there. But imagine what your user is searching for, and use those keywords. So hashtags and links, you can put hashtags in your bio. The verdict's kind of out on that because the keywords are like hashtags. But one or two is recommended. That's what's recommended. Do not put hashtags that are unique to your brand though, because branded hashtags, unless you're really, really popular and that hashtag is used all over the place, use hashtags of keywords that are highly searchable for what you do. Okay. Like Frisco, Texas, home for sale. That's a long tail keyword search hashtag. Emojis and formatting so it's easy to read. Emojis, people do like an emoji or two in order to draw the eye. So some emojis are fine. Don't overuse them. Make sure that it's formatted so that it's easy to read. And then, of course, a call to action, how people can work with you. And then at the bottom of that last line, that's where your link will go. And that will naturally go there. Instagram does that for you. The key to a successful bio is makeover. Makeover is to continue. The key to a successful Instagram bio makeover is to continuously assess and adapt, like I just said. So this page, you might want to take a screenshot. This is the crux of a big portion of the previous class. Your IG bio should answer those 4 questions. Already said that. Do not waste your searchable space on things your client isn't searching for. So if you have dog lover, coffee, mom of 3, nobody's searching that. You want to use those 150 characters to elevate your visibility within the Instagram platform. I used our friend Meg's. She hopefully not going to get mad at me for this, but I knew I use her for an example a lot. So a couple of things I want to point out here. Balance Redeemed is her business name. She does not use her name in her Instagram name. Excuse me. So it is appropriate for her to put her Instagram name in her Instagram bio name. Okay. So that the name of her account and the bio, that highlighted line, shouldn't repeat itself because you're wasting, right? Balance Redeemed is the name of her business. That one line right there is very searchable. Now, layman's terms are better. Okay. FNTP BCHNRWP. It just looks like maybe a 2-year-old tried to say the alphabet and said it all backwards or jumbled up. I have no idea what those things mean. And to me, they're not very searchable. So Meg Fitzgill, unless people know her name, that's not necessarily searchable either. So maybe Meg Functional Nutrition Specialist, or spell out this first one, something like that, would be better for right there. Entrepreneur. You want to be an entrepreneur because that gives you that's the category. It gives you the full Instagram library of music. So if you are like a community or health and wellness or whatever, and you're struggling with your audio and not having everything available, switch your category to entrepreneur and you'll see everything. And you can actually hide your category so it doesn't show up, and it will give you more space in your bio for more things to show up. So just a little key there. She said women's digestive health expert. That's great. I might put that right there. Because this is not searchable, so it's wasted space. Tools used. That is also wasted space. Functional nutrition, that's okay. And I like the emoji and I love the formatting of it. Mindset. That's a pretty broad keyword search term. So I would say maybe something like growth mindset, or something a little bit more specific. Lab testing. Specifically functional nutrition lab testing, or there's a certain type of lab testing that she does that's more specific than that. Biofeedback scans, that is a good one. That is actually searchable. And essential oils, too broad. You're going to get dumped into a sea of way too many people. So again, specificity is better, clear. So I rewrote hers, and here's what it came up with. Who she is, what she does, who she does it for, and how people can work with her. DFW's premier functional nutritionist, personalized wellness expert for women. Let's elevate your health journey together. That's the call to action. Functional nutrition and DFW health. And then below here would be her link tree. So there's that. Enhancing your profile. Your profile serves as your digital identity on the platform, and making it visually appealing and informative can help attract followers and make a lasting impression. Here are some tips on enhancing your profile. Choose a clear, high-resolution photo. This is also from previous class. Set your username that's easy to remember. Utilize contact options. So make sure you're a business brand and utilize all those contact options so people can click to call. If your phone number is in your bio, that's not clickable. Somebody has to stop at a red light, write it down, take a screenshot. It's a whole thing. So make sure it's clickable. Include one link in your bio, preferably. It can be a link tree, but you just want at least one link. Maintain a consistent visual, so your highlights, all of that. Utilize Instagram video features like Reels, obviously. Respond to comments, definitely. Establish a regular posting schedule. This right here is kind of overlooked. And I just want to mention this. Consistency is way more important than the quantity of your posts. The reason why is the algorithm. There's 4 different ones at play. Learn your behavior. If you have no behavior to learn, it's going to see you as dormant and not show you to anyone. What I mean by that is you run, metaphorically, and do really, really well for like 2 weeks on Instagram. You're killing it, but you burn yourself out and then you don't post anymore. Okay. It's like a weight loss journey. If you only eat like every once in a while when you're just so hungry you can't even stand it, your body holds on to that fat because it has no idea when you're going to feed it again, right? So consistency is much better than quantity. If you're going to eat once a day, then be consistent. If you're going to post 3 times a week, post 3 times a week for a long time so Instagram trusts your account. Keep an eye on the new features that Instagram introduces. If they have a new feature, use it. They will reward you for it. Enhancing your profile on Instagram is crucial. Okay, we've already talked about that. All right, so let's move on to the meat and potatoes. Drive action with story links. So here's one example. Ask me a question. This is a key sticker that a lot of times people don't use. So the sticker allows people to ask you a question. Those questions that they ask you, you can then use to create another story. But here is the kicker. The ask me a question sticker does not reveal who asked the question. Okay. So let's say you said, ask me a question, and you have a question that you're hoping someone asks and nobody asks it. It's fine. Ask yourself that question. It's not going to say who asked it. And then you can use that story to say, I got this question. Well, you did get that question. Nobody knows that it was you, but you're kind of driving that bus forward. A, somebody asked a question, so they want to ask a question next. And B, you're able to control the conversation. So Instagram stories have evolved beyond just fleeting moments, offering a dynamic platform for users to share not only pictures and videos, but also direct connections to external content. So stories are the best way to facilitate engagement. And this is one of the really fun ways to do that. So if you have frequently asked questions, hopefully your users will engage. But if they don't, ask yourself the question, and then you can share that back into your stories, and it doesn't say who asked it. Stories allow an extra layer in that reality TV experience, because you feel like you're going along the journey with the creator. Even though it's not live, it's within 24-hour period, and then it disappears. That was by a girl named Chelsea Pipes. She actually wrote a book called What to Post. So Kardashians, they're just like sitting around, their whole life is not that riveting, but it's kind of a train wreck. Anyways, so reality television, that's what stories kind of do for your audience. It also allows them to give private input and feedback, especially with those stickers. So you could just have a story where you're just talking to the camera and have no stickers, and somebody hearts it or likes it or says amen or, oh my gosh, that happened to me. They get engrossed in whatever is happening with you. Because I don't know about you, but if you have something that you have to do, you'll pretty much do anything else but that one thing. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be, I have to craft this because I need it for a Christmas present tomorrow, right? Suddenly, crafting is not fun to you anymore. You want to do anything else but the thing you have to do. So people like to watch stories and they give feedback because it's an outlet. It's a distraction from whatever they're wanting to do. So allow them to do that. This is kind of my own little map. People that aren't already following you see your reels, okay? It's about 40%. You'll see that on the next slide. But when you're making reels on your feed, about 40% of the people that are watching that are not already following you. Okay. If those people click off and they go to your profile, it drives traffic to your profile. The first thing they're going to see is your circle ring. If you have stories, it's going to be very, very likely that they're going to click that to see real time, because they just saw a packaged real, produced, whatever. They're going to want to see you in real life, right? Real life. So it accelerates that trust and relationship building if you have stories for those people that find you from your reel to immediately build a connection and then click follow. So curiosity tells them to look at your story. The IG algorithms, there are actually more than one. There are four main ones. I'm sure there's more than that, but the four main. There is a story algorithm. There is a feed algorithm. There's a reels algorithm. And then there's the recommendation algorithm. It recommends what accounts it thinks you want to see. Okay. And 40% of the people that see your stuff, 40% of stories too, are non-followers. And here's just an example from one reel we recently did, and you can see that rings true. I mean, literally 133, 198 non-followers. It was the first one I came to, and it was right on. And I looked at some more, and they were also right on. Story content is now reaching people you don't know or who don't know you, which is, I mean, equally as important. So it's important that you're doing stories. Okay. And we're going to talk about learning with you, about you, and from you. So story content, communicate, consume, watch, and message. All right. So the more people communicate and consume your content, the more they will watch your stories, because they'll be the first to see it. And then in your stories, if you're doing it right, they're going to engage, and that's going to go to your direct messages. Instagram focus is on direct messaging. Okay. So the more you communicate with someone, the algorithm uses that data to determine who to push to the front of the lineup. So you want to make sure that you're building that engagement in your stories so that you're at the front of the lineup. Stories go to your most avid followers. To strategically use stories for conversion, you want to make sure that they're learning about you some way, they're learning from you in some way, and they're learning with you in some way. And throughout your day, you learn things, they can learn about you, and you can teach them something. All of that. Matter of fact, I can literally right now go to my Instagram while we're talking, and I can put on here a story. Okay. So I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to put on my little fold thing and say, I am recording today's class. It will go out tomorrow. And yeah, it's about Instagram stories, and I think you should watch it. Okay. So I'm going to click done. I'm going to save that. I won't post it right now, but either way, now that is about me, right? I'm recording. That's a behind the scenes. I'll probably talk a little bit about what the class is about, but that is me doing a story that's learning about me, because this is what I look like when I record a class. Personal content plus professional content is essential. So you want to make sure they're learning from you, but you want to also make sure that they're learning about you. That's what I mean by that. Stories is where you can put your personal content, where you can look like you just woke up sometimes, and it's totally fine. Imperfection makes you more likable. Authenticity is key. There you go. It's like I knew what was coming. Show them behind the scenes stuff. Show them your team members or your your partner in crime, like Angelin. Customer testimonies are really great. I actually have a video that I could share in my stories. And process, sorry, we misspelled that. It needs another S, products and services, like what you do, how you make them, all of that. But authenticity is key, connection with the audience. Okay. Stories are things that cannot be copied because they're uniquely you. All right. So when you're doing stories and it's a behind the scenes, or I'm like recording myself talking or whatever, nobody can recreate my background, my voice, my chair, my setup. No one can recreate your behind the scenes. That is not something they can copy. They can do their own behind the scenes, but stories allow you to shine through and show your authentic self. This is a common thought over and over and over again. I sit behind a cubicle. I, edit pictures all day. I, sell on the internet. What's exciting about that? Whatever. I don't think there's anything visually exciting about what I do. Not true. And well, actually, okay. You might not think it's visually exciting, but remember, everybody's looking for a distraction. Reality television, the real world from back in the day, that was not riveting. People sitting around in a house on a couch talking about God knows what. No, it's nothing burger. Nothing's happening, but people are interested. So that's incorrect. I'm going to give you an example of Michael Stelzner. He was on a podcast and he was talking about how he was sharing in his stories about a flat tire. Okay. He is the founder of Social Media Marketing World. Okay. And he does a lot of like podcasts or whatever. And he said that his story about getting a flat tire was the most engaged with story of all time on his Instagram account. And he runs Social Media Marketing World. Okay. It was not about social media. It was learning with him. Okay. And about him. Okay. Even Michael Stelzner gets a flat tire. And so he thought to make a story about it. It's very engaging. So if flat tire is not particularly riveting, but remember, he got the most engagement off of it. Here are some amazing, these are timely, probably going to date this presentation this summer. However, if you're watching this late, just disregard. There's going to be stickers for you. Just look them up. But these are all the seasonal ones that Instagram just added. And I love them. They make me so happy. So these are engagement stickers. It says tap, give thanks, link in bio, swipe up, new post. All of this really cute. So I highly recommend you dive into the new stickers and treat it like a sticker book and make it visually appealing. Imperfections actually could potentially make us more likable. So yesterday, was that yesterday? 2 days ago, or no, whenever this was, I made a story and it said, how did I make it through my day with these bangs? So this one little bang was like laying down, and you notice I have them back now in a little clip. But my bangs are going crazy this week. So I put on my story a screenshot of me doing a Zoom call with someone else, social club Zoom call going down. Oh, okay. Yeah. So anyways, and there you go. I showed an imperfection. Showing our imperfections can enhance our own connection with others. They're like, oh, she's normal. Things happen. When we see someone who we already deem as highly competent, if we see and experience their vulnerabilities, the flat tire, my bangs, not that I'm highly qualified or competent, but whatever, it helps us be likable. Process, I forgot the S, there you go. A flaw, we actually show that we can relate to them and like them even more. I got and that's science. I quoted that. Actually, this was from another podcast, and the lady goes, because science, and she quotes this finding from this study. Okay. So she quoted science. So I quoted science. All right. Trust and relationship. Okay. So here's what I was going to say just a second ago. I got a message from a girl named Shara, and she had taken one of my face-to-face classes this past week. And she was so proud. She made a reel. She was like fired up. She's like, I don't know what happened to me. I was very inspired. So I did it. And I was like, and she said she was pointing and she showed me the reel, which actually I'd already seen on my feed because she was getting visible because it was a reel and it showed it to me. But she misspelled, or she spelled the word right, but there was a letter that was left off. Okay. So, the letter was left off in this title of her reel. And when she did that, she saw it 4 hours later. She was like, oh my gosh, the whole world has seen me make a mistake. I said, so what? That's good. It makes you human. Do better next time. So trust and relationship, it really builds that trust because it makes you human. Remember 7-4-11 formula? We've talked about this in the past. 7-4-11 formula. 7 hours, 4 locations, 11 interactions. That's what it takes to move a follower to a friend. When you are doing stories, you are zooming through the 7-4-11 much faster because they feel like they know you. You've got to move that follower, that casual acquaintance, into the friend category. And if they know things about you and they know that you messed up and things like that, it makes that process much more expedient. Don't edit stories. Raw, real, way better. If you're talking face to camera, turn on captions. Okay, this is very important. Instagram is 80% nonverbal, which I think is no. Okay, so this is not a slide and we're almost done. 80% nonverbal. That means that 80% of the people who use Instagram prefer to consume the content nonverbally. So they're sitting on the couch, they're scrolling through, the TV's going, everybody's in the living room watching a show. They don't want their sound on, right? So what's important about that is that your captions need to be on if you're talking because they're reading them instead of listening. I used to think it was if it was an educational post, but really if you're talking, put the captions on. It immediately draws their attention to something I can read. Something's going on here. I need to pay attention. So captions are very, very important in your stories. Make sure you turn them on. All right, that's it. So in a nutshell, use Instagram stories. It will boost your business because it's the best place for you to get engagement, build the relationship, and allow your user to learn with you, about you, and absolutely from you. Mix your personal with your business, and that is where the magic will happen. Reach out to us if you have any questions. Tag us in your stories so that we can share and engage at Next Chapter Social on Instagram and Facebook. And I appreciate you so much. Have a great day.